Welcome to Cults and Secret Societies. I'm your host, Ben Carter. Imagine, if you can, standing in the middle of a dense, ancient redwood forest. The air is cool and crisp, and there's a hushed silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves. You're not alone, though. Amongst these towering giants, a select group of men gather, some of the most powerful figures in the world. Illuminated by the flickering glow of a massive bonfire, their faces are hidden in shadow, their identities known only to each other. Welcome to the Bohemian Grove, a secretive society surrounded by speculation, mystery, and whispers of strange rituals. Located about 75 miles north of San Francisco, the Grove is a 2,700-acre campground owned by the Bohemian Club, a private men's club that boasts some of the most powerful men in the world as its members. For over 100 years, every July, these men, including presidents, business leaders, and artists, retreat to this secluded forest for a 2-week period known as the Bohemian Grove Summer Encampment. The Bohemians, as they call themselves, say that this gathering is a time for relaxation, camaraderie, and escape from the pressures of the outside world. However, over the years, rumors have swirled about what really goes on inside the Grove. Reports of strange rituals, pagan ceremonies, and secret policy-making have made their way out of the Redwoods, sparking curiosity and fueling theories of conspiracy. Perhaps the most infamous of these rituals is the cremation of care, a theatrical production performed on the first night of the encampment. As dusk falls, members gather at the base of a 40-foot-tall concrete owl statue, the unofficial mascot of the Grove. What follows is a spectacle of fire and theatrics, involving cloaked figures, a mock human effigy, and a dramatic exorcism of worldly cares. The Bohemian Club maintains that this ritual is harmless, a mere piece of pageantry designed to symbolize the abandonment of worries for the duration of the retreat. But critics and conspiracy theorists argue otherwise. They suggest that the cremation of care is more than just symbolic, that it could be a form of occult worship or even a sinister rite designed to consolidate power and influence. While it's easy to dismiss these theories as outlandish, the secrecy surrounding the Grove and the power wielded by its members make it hard to ignore the whispers completely. What really happens behind the closed gates of the Bohemian Grove? Is it merely a playground for the powerful, or could there be a deeper, darker purpose to the rituals performed amongst the Redwoods? As we delve deeper, we'll explore these questions and more, peeling back the layers of secrecy to understand the enigma that is the Bohemian Grove. To understand the origins of Bohemian Grove, we need to travel back in time to the year 1872. In the bustling heart of San Francisco, a group of journalists, artists, and musicians found a common ground in their shared love for music, literature, and lively conversation. This group of creative minds formed a club, which they fittingly named the Bohemian Club. The name was inspired by the term Bohemian, which, in the 19th century, referred to a person who lived an unconventional lifestyle, often involving artistic, literary, or spiritual pursuits. In the early years, the Bohemian Club was primarily a gathering place for journalists and artists. They met regularly in San Francisco, where they held meetings, discussions, and performances. Over time, the club started attracting a more diverse range of members, including businessmen, politicians, and other influential figures. The Bohemian Club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," was a clear message to its members. Leave your business and political dealings at the door. This is a place for leisure, camaraderie, and intellectual pursuit. By the end of the 19th century, the club had begun its annual summer encampment at Bohemian Grove, a secluded 2,700-acre redwood forest located about 75 miles north of San Francisco. The Grove offered the perfect escape from the pressures of the outside world. It was a pristine, natural backdrop where these influential men could unwind, engage in intellectual discourse, and participate in artistic performances, away from prying eyes. The secretive nature of the Bohemian Club can be understood through the lens of the social and political climate of the time. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, America was undergoing rapid industrialization and urbanization. Social classes were becoming more distinct and rigid. The Bohemian Club, with its eclectic mix of members from various social and professional backgrounds, was a break from this. Their secret meetings and rituals can be seen as an attempt to create an egalitarian space, a refuge from the social norms and pressures of the outside world. However, as the club's membership expanded to include some of the most powerful men in society, the egalitarian ideals of the Bohemian Club came into question. Critics argue that the club's secretive nature, combined with the influence and power of its members, creates a breeding ground for undemocratic decision-making and unchecked power consolidation. In the next segment, we will delve deeper into the controversial aspects of the Bohemian Club, from its membership policies to the enigmatic rituals performed at Bohemian Grove. As we peel back the layers of secrecy, we'll attempt to separate fact from fiction, shedding light on the mysteries that continue to surround this elusive society. The Bohemian Club was formed in San Francisco on June 27, 1872, by a group of journalists, artists, and musicians. The founders included journalists Charles Warren Stoddard, Henry Edwards, and Daniel O'Connell, as well as musician and composer Arthur Matthews. The goal was to foster a sense of brotherhood among men who had a shared interest in music, literature, and the arts. Membership in the Bohemian Club was initially open to those involved in the arts, but over time it expanded to include entrepreneurs, politicians, and other influential figures. However, one rule remained consistent. Membership was exclusive to men only, a tradition that has been upheld to the present day and has been the subject of much critique. The club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," was borrowed from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, and is seen as a directive to its members to leave their worldly concerns and business dealings at the door. This motto was supposedly intended to preserve the sanctity of the club as a place of recreation, camaraderie, and intellectual pursuit, free from the pressures and politics of the outside world. But while the Bohemian Club was founded on a shared appreciation for the arts and intellectual discourse, it quickly became the subject of controversy due to the secretive nature of its activities. The club's rituals, performed during their annual summer encampment at Bohemian Grove, were particularly shrouded in secrecy. The most famous of these rituals is the Cremation of Care, a theatrical performance in which members gathered around a large statue of an owl, the club's symbol, and symbolically burned away their cares and worries. The club's leadership has been dominated by men of considerable influence and power. Prominent past presidents of the Bohemian Club include Richard Nixon, Herbert Hoover, and Dwight D. Eisenhower. This array of powerful leaders has led to allegations of the club being a secretive hub for the world's power elite, where important decisions are made behind closed doors, away from democratic scrutiny. The Bohemian Club's rituals and secretive meetings have led to much speculation and conspiracy theories. Some believe the club is a secret society that controls global events, while others see it as nothing more than a social club for the wealthy and influential. The truth, as is often the case, may lie somewhere in between. Regardless of where one stands on the matter, the Bohemian Club and its rituals at Bohemian Grove remain a fascinating study of power, secrecy, and society. As we continue our journey into the heart of the Redwood Forest, we'll explore more about the rituals performed at the Grove and the controversies they've sparked. As we delve deeper into the enigma of the Bohemian Grove, we encounter a web of conspiracy theories that have swirled around the club and its members for decades. These theories range from the plausible to the outlandish, attracting interest from individuals across the spectrum of belief. The shared thread among all these theories is a deep suspicion about what actually transpires during the club's private gatherings amid the Redwoods. One of the most pervasive theories revolves around the idea of the New World Order, a supposed global elite who are said to control world events and manipulate society. Critics allege that the Bohemian Club serves as one of their key meeting places, a secret sanctuary where they can plan and coordinate without fear of oversight or scrutiny. It's claimed that decisions affecting global politics, economics, and even warfare have been made within the secluded confines of the Grove. The club's roster of influential members fuels these theories. With numerous U.S. presidents, business tycoons, and cultural figures among its ranks, it's not hard to see why some might suspect a hidden agenda. The secretive nature of the club's meetings and rituals further adds to the sense of mystery, providing fertile ground for speculation. Another theory ties the club's rituals, particularly the cremation of care ceremony, to occult practices and pagan worship. Critics point to the use of a giant owl statue, a symbol commonly associated with wisdom and mystery in many cultures, as a sign of hidden religious or mystical beliefs. Some even go as far as to suggest that the club is involved in human sacrifice, a claim stemming from the mock ritualistic burning at the cremation of care ceremony. Yet another theory alleges that the Bohemian Club is involved in political deception. It's suggested that the club, under the guise of a social and recreational organization, is in fact a front for policy-making and power brokering among the elite. This theory often points to the club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," arguing that it's a clever ruse to detract from the true intentions of the group. These are just a few of the numerous conspiracy theories that surround the Bohemian Club and its rituals at Bohemian Grove. Whether one views these theories as baseless speculation or potential truth, there's no denying that they've played a significant role in shaping the public perception of this secretive society. The lore and legend of the Grove continue to captivate and intrigue, a testament to the power of secrecy and the allure of forbidden knowledge. The symbols, codes, and rituals associated with the Bohemian Club and its Grove gatherings are intriguingly complex, adding layers of mystery to this already secretive society. Let's delve into some of these. Perhaps the most visible symbol associated with the club is the massive owl statue that presides over the Grove. Standing at approximately 40 feet in height, the owl is a prominent feature at the cremation of care ceremony. In many cultures, the owl is a symbol of wisdom and knowledge. However, in the context of the Bohemian Club, some argue that it represents Moloch, a deity associated with child sacrifice in ancient cultures. This interpretation contributes to the theory that the cremation of care ritual involves human sacrifice, albeit symbolically. Next is the club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here." This phrase, borrowed from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, is interpreted by some as a directive against networking or politicking within the Grove. However, conspiracy theorists claim it's an ironic statement, a smokescreen intended to distract from the club's alleged true purpose: power brokering and policy-making among the elite. The Bohemian Club also uses coded language, particularly in the cremation of care ceremony. The name of the ceremony itself is coded. The care referred to is not the common understanding of the word as a feeling of concern or worry. Instead, in this context, care is personified as a burdensome entity that members symbolically cremate to rid themselves of worldly concerns, at least for the duration of their stay at the Grove. The club's use of rituals is another way it maintains secrecy and power. The cremation of care ceremony, a theatrical performance involving robed figures, pyrotechnics, and a dramatic narrative, is performed at the start of each summer encampment. This ritual, shrouded in secrecy, is believed by some to serve as both a bonding experience for members and a symbol of their power and exclusivity. In addition, the club's tradition of lakeside talks, informal, off-the-record speeches given by influential members, is seen as another ritualistic practice that reinforces the club's exclusivity. The topics of these talks, often relating to politics, technology, or culture, are kept strictly confidential, fueling speculation about the powerful knowledge shared within the grove. These symbols, codes, and rituals, while intriguing, also serve a practical purpose. They help to maintain the club's air of mystery, guarding it against prying eyes and ensuring the continued power and influence of its members. In this secretive society, knowledge is indeed power, and the Bohemian Club certainly seems to understand this. The symbols and rituals of the Bohemian Grove remain a tantalizing enigma, a testament to the allure of secrecy and the enduring power of hidden knowledge. Throughout the years, there have been numerous attempts to expose the Bohemian Grove's clandestine activities. One notable instance came in the summer of 1989 when journalist Philip Weiss managed to infiltrate the Grove. He spent 7 days within its confines, mingling with the members, observing the rituals, and subsequently wrote an eye-opening article for Spy magazine. Weiss's report painted a vivid picture of the club's activities, providing the public a rare glimpse into this secretive world. However, the Bohemian Club was quick to downplay the revelations, claiming the report was sensationalized and distorted. Another attempt to expose the Grove came from none other than the famous conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. In 2000, Jones and his cameraman snuck into the Grove and filmed the infamous cremation of care ritual. Upon its release, the footage sent shockwaves through the conspiracy theory community, fueling further speculation about what really takes place within the Grove. The Bohemian Club's response was again one of denial, describing the ritual as a harmless, theatrical performance. In the face of these exposures, the Bohemian Club has adopted a strategy of deflection and disinformation. They have persistently maintained that Bohemian Grove is merely a place for members to unwind, free from the pressures of their professional lives. Any suggestion of policy-making, networking, or power brokering within the Grove is vehemently denied. Moreover, it appears the club has been successful in keeping law enforcement at bay. In 1996, a group of local residents filed a complaint with the local sheriff's office alleging improper conduct within the Grove. The sheriff's office, however, dismissed the complaint, stating that they found no evidence of wrongdoing. In instances when the Grove's activities have been directly challenged, the response has been decidedly more severe. In 1980, investigative journalist Anthony Sutton attempted to expose the Grove's activities. Sutton claimed to have received death threats and experienced professional sabotage as a result. His research was discredited and his reputation tarnished, demonstrating the lengths to which the Bohemian Club would seemingly go to protect its secrets. However, despite these attempts at exposure and the subsequent pushback, the Bohemian Grove continues to thrive. The allure of its secrecy, the power of its members, and the exclusivity of its rituals continue to draw the interest and speculation of the public. The question remains, what are the true extent and impact of the activities conducted within the Grove's secluded redwoods? Only the members of the Bohemian Club can say, and for now, their lips are sealed. To delve into the esoteric beliefs of the Bohemian Club, one must first understand that the group's philosophy is derived from a combination of ancient and modern ideas. The club's rituals, particularly the cremation of care ceremony, indicate a deep-seated belief in the power of symbolism and collective intent. These rituals are not mere performances but are, in essence, a form of group meditation or spiritual practice aimed at manifesting desired outcomes. The cremation of care, for instance, is a dramatic representation of the release of worldly cares and concerns. This ritual is perceived as a means of purifying the self, allowing members to attain a state of mental clarity and focus. The use of fire in this ceremony is symbolic of transformation and purification, a concept found across numerous spiritual traditions worldwide. The Bohemian Club's philosophy seems to blend elements of paganism, with its reverence for nature, and certain aspects of Freemasonry, with its emphasis on brotherhood, secrecy, and ritual. This eclectic mix of spiritual and philosophical ideas perhaps reflects the diverse backgrounds and interests of its members, who come from the worlds of politics, industry, and the arts. The club's belief system also suggests a certain degree of anthropocentrism, the belief that humans are the most significant entity in the universe. This is inferred from the club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," which implies that worldly concerns and ambitions should be set aside within the grove. In other words, the Bohemian Grove is seen as a sanctuary from the outside world, a place where members can reconnect with their inner selves, away from the demands and pressures of their professional lives. However, the Bohemian Club's philosophy is not limited to self-improvement or personal growth. It also encompasses a broader worldview that recognizes the interconnectedness of all things. This is perhaps best exemplified by the Redwoods themselves, which are revered not only for their majestic beauty, but also their interconnected root systems, which serve as a metaphor for the interconnectedness of life. In summary, the Bohemian Club seems to embrace a complex blend of spiritual and philosophical beliefs that emphasize personal transformation, reverence for nature, and a sense of brotherhood among its members. While these beliefs and rituals may seem unusual or even bizarre to outsiders, they are deeply meaningful to the club's members and play a crucial role in shaping the culture and ethos of the Bohemian Grove. The impact of the Bohemian Club on modern culture and power structures is as elusive and enigmatic as the organization itself. Yet its influence is undeniably present, woven into the fabric of media, politics, religion, education, and finance, much like the intricate roots of the redwoods that define the Bohemian Grove. With its membership comprising some of the most influential figures in American society, it's no surprise that the Bohemian Club has had a significant impact on various sectors. Take media, for instance. Numerous media moguls and influential journalists are known to have been members of the club. This has led to speculation about the club's potential influence on shaping media narratives, subtly directing public opinion, or even steering major policy debates. In the realm of politics, the club's influence is perhaps even more pronounced. Numerous American presidents, from Richard Nixon to Ronald Reagan, have been members of the club or have attended its summer encampment. This has led to claims that the Bohemian Grove serves as an informal, off-the-record forum for high-level political discussions and decision-making. In fact, it's alleged that the Manhattan Project, which led to the creation of the atomic bomb, was initially conceived within the Grove. The Bohemian Club's influence is not limited to the secular world. Some have argued that its eclectic blend of spiritual and philosophical ideas has had an impact on religious thought and practice in America. Its emphasis on nature reverence, for instance, could be seen as an early precursor to the modern environmental movement, which often carries a spiritual or quasi-religious undertone. In the realm of education, the club's influence is more subtle, but no less significant. Many prominent academics and university leaders are known to have been members of the Bohemian Club. This potentially gives the club a significant say in shaping educational policies and curricula, or influencing the direction of academic research. Finally, let's consider finance. With many of its members being captains of industry and finance, the Bohemian Club arguably has considerable sway over economic policies and financial markets. It's speculated that major financial decisions or deals could be made within the Grove, away from the public eye and the scrutiny of regulatory bodies. In essence, the Bohemian Club's influence permeates multiple sectors of modern society. Its ideas, networks, and rituals have left their mark on our world in ways that are both visible and hidden. However, as is the case with so much about the club, much of its true impact remains shrouded in secrecy and speculation. As we delve deeper into the mystery surrounding Bohemian Grove, we encounter more extreme theories that take us beyond the realms of politics, finance, and education. These theories, often dismissed by the mainstream, suggest the existence of occult practices, mind control experiments, and even otherworldly connections within the Grove. Let's explore these claims. The occult theory emerges from the club's cremation of care ritual, which involves a mock human sacrifice before a giant owl statue. This has led some to suggest that the Bohemian Club is involved in dark occult practices. They point to the symbolism of the owl, often associated with wisdom and mystery, but also with the occult and secret societies. The ritual's theatrical nature, they say, masks deeper, more sinister rites performed in the shadows of the Grove. Another radical claim revolves around the concept of mind control. The theory posits that the Grove's rituals and secluded environment are designed to manipulate the minds of its influential members. The combination of secrecy, exclusivity, and ritualistic practices, they argue, could create a potent psychological environment for subtle mind control. This, in turn, could be used to sway global events and trends according to the will of a hidden elite. The idea of mass manipulation also features prominently in these theories. The Grove, with its concentration of media moguls, political leaders, and business tycoons, is seen as the perfect platform to shape societal narratives and manipulate public opinion. The secrecy and isolation of the Grove, it's suggested, allows for the development and propagation of these narratives without public scrutiny or interference. The most extreme among these theories even suggest extraterrestrial origins or connections. According to these speculations, the Grove is a meeting place not just for Earth's elite, but also for otherworldly entities. They point to anecdotal accounts of strange lights and unexplained phenomena within the Grove. While this theory is far from the mainstream, it represents the extent to which the secrecy of the Grove fuels speculation and intrigue. These theories, as outlandish as they may seem, are part of the rich tapestry of stories and speculations that surround Bohemian Grove. They reflect our fascination with power, secrecy, and the unknown. And while they remain largely unproven and dismissed by mainstream thought, they continue to capture the imagination of many, contributing to the enduring enigma of Bohemian Grove. As we draw to an end in this exploration of the enigmatic Bohemian Grove, the questions and mysteries remain as thick as the redwood groves themselves. The Grove's allure in popular culture, its secrecy, its exclusive membership, and its unusual rituals have all contributed to a tapestry of theories and speculation that range from the plausible to the fantastic. Despite all we've learned, there are still many unanswered questions. What is the true significance of the cremation of care ritual? Is it merely a theatrical performance, or does it have deeper occult meanings? Is there any truth to the idea of mind control or mass manipulation? Could the Grove's seclusion and ritualistic practices create an environment conducive to subtle psychological manipulation? And what about the more radical theories? The suggestions of extraterrestrial connections, for instance, are largely dismissed by mainstream thought. But the existence of unexplained phenomena within the grove, as reported by some, continues to fuel these speculations. As long as the grove maintains its secrecy, these questions are likely to persist. The grove's membership, composed of influential figures from various sectors, also raises suspicions. What exactly are these power brokers doing in the grove? Are they simply seeking respite from their high-pressure lives? Or are they shaping global events and trends behind the Redwoods' veil of secrecy? The truth, as it often is, may be somewhere in the middle. The grove might simply be a private retreat for the elite, a place for them to unwind and engage in theatrical rituals. But the concentration of power and influence, combined with the secrecy, certainly provides fertile ground for speculation. And perhaps that's the greatest allure of Bohemian Grove. The mystery, the secrecy, the sense of something hidden just beneath the surface. It's a place that invites questions, speculation, and intrigue. A place that captivates the imagination. What remains certain is that Bohemian Grove continues to be a focal point for conspiracy theories and speculation. Its secrets, real or imagined, remain locked behind its guarded gates, shrouded in the shadows of the ancient redwoods. And perhaps some of these secrets might never be uncovered, forever etched into the mystique of the grove. As we leave the redwood groves behind, we are left with more questions than answers. The allure of Bohemian Grove, it seems, lies in its enduring mystery, a mystery that continues to captivate us, inviting us to question, to speculate, and to wonder about what transpires within its secluded confines. As we've seen, the grove is more than a place. It's a symbol, a paradox, a mirror reflecting our fascination with power, secrecy, and the unknown. And as long as these elements persist, so too will the enigma of Bohemian Grove. Thanks for listening. This has been Cults and Secret Societies. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.